So my friends, welcome to episode 25. You remember that the photograph had eventually arrived. Michael Saunterton, the lecturer, had received this photograph. He knew Belinda. He'd arranged to meet up with her mother. And so at 12:30 in the Cross Keys restaurant in Salisbury, this is what happened. At 12:30 sharp, Michael Saunterton, a man of 38, asked someone in a car park where the Cross Keys was. After being told what a grand place it was to eat, the elderly man gave him perfect directions with his stick, which he waved about perilously close to the university lecturer's ear. Resisting the desire to stop him waving it about, Mr. Saunterton paid for a parking ticket for 3 hours, and after sticking it on his car windscreen, he ventured through Salisbury Centre and straight to the Cross Keys as directed. He couldn't resist standing to admire the beautiful building, obviously ancient, not at all what he expected to find at the entrance of a shopping centre. The friendly middle-aged man behind the counter answered his request for Christine Devlin by calling a young, pretty, miniskirt waitress, and she led the man upstairs to the area of further seating there. Here the age of the building was even more obvious, with ancient black beams. Sitting by the window was a neatly dressed lady of about 40. As the waitress pointed to her, Michael Saunterton had already identified her. Her face was lined with worry, but she could have been no other than Belle's mother. The resemblance was striking. The same inquisitive expression, slightly pink cheeks, fine lips. She looked up and rose to shake hands. "Mr. Saunterton, pleased to meet you." "The pleasure is mine. Please call me Michael or Mick." "Okay, Michael, I'm Christine." Without asking, and with the owner's permission, the young waitress went to the counter and made up 2 coffees and 2 very generous slices of lemon meringue. Michael was having a problem that he was not used to. He really didn't know where to begin. Christine sat with the inquisitive look, waiting patiently. She wanted to ask questions, but was slightly in awe of the learned man with a distinguished, handsome face. Excuse me. He looked at the meringue pie in front of him and wanted to laugh at the strangeness of life. Here he was meeting up with Belinda's mother for a cup of coffee, and halfway around the world in Brazil, the younger model of this very good-looking species was possibly living on nuts. "Mrs. Devlin, Christine, I'm sure that you're anxious for any word at all that might throw some light on what has happened to Belinda." "Of course, yes. Have you heard anything lately at all?" "Not really. The Brazilian embassy are kindly courteous. The authorities here are politely adamant that it seems all passengers have died." "What do you think of that?" "Well, I expect you're a very rational person, Michael. However, in here," she touched the left-hand side of her chest, "I am sure Belinda is alive. Perhaps you think I'm silly." "On the contrary, Christine, I don't think your hope is foolish at all." He looked into the beautiful eyes, and he lifted a piece of meringue pie on a pork fork. It hovered before his mouth. He wondered at this beautiful woman being the widow of an IRA gunman. "I believe that if anyone I know would survive in that jungle of the Amazon, your daughter Belinda would, if she survived the original crash." "You really believe that, Michael?" "Yes. She's resourceful, determined, stubborn even, enduring and intelligent. I couldn't believe she would just sit and starve while she waited for rescuers. It's more likely that she'd end up the Queen of the Amazon than that. She just wouldn't give up." Christine managed to laugh at this accurate description of her daughter. "You obviously know her well, Michael." "Yes, I try to get to know the students, but some of them are hard to get close to. Your Belle's a book that's got open pages. You always know what she's thinking. She's passionate about life, all life. She wants to change the world, right the wrongs." "Oh yes, that's my girl." "Well, I'll come to the point. I have a friend. He's a research scientist and he's currently working in Brazil. He operates in the city of Manaus." "On the Amazon River?" "Yes, you know it?" "No, but I've got a map. I brought one of the whole region. It made me feel closer to her somehow."